It is a well-known fact that exercise is essential to keeping fit and healthy. Without it, our bodies would degenerate to the point of being dysfunctional. Exercise is also a key factor in accelerating the healing process. Based in Western Australia but spanning 3 continents, GEM, a team of eminent specialists in orthopedics, sports and skeletal medicine, decided to expand on NASA's scientific research into overcoming muscle degeneration due to weightlessness in space. Taking a different approach, the GEM team looked at exactly what induces the body to replicate cells. The E-cell is the result of 10 years of development, testing and fine-tuning.
It's staggering technology. It's space-age technology, and it's now available to the consumer, and I think if you don't use it, I think you're crazy.
I can't speak highly enough of it, and I'm not one to sort of pretend or rave about something that's not really true. I can't believe it's happened, but I'm so grateful that they produced this.
I was meant to be limping for about 2 weeks, but I was walking after 1 week.
It has made a significant improvement in my life, and I would say the pain has gone down by 80 to 90%.
There was no drugs, there is no pounding or pushing, there is no incisions of any kind. The E-cell triggers the body's own natural immune system, and that makes it of great value to me.
You can use it, I can use it at the desk, use it lying down on the couch, use it on a bus on a road trip, use it wherever you want, and it's basically just put it on, strap it on and press the button. It's simple.
Small enough to fit in the palm of your hand, this bioelectronic medical device uses smart therapy cards which look exactly like the SIM card in your mobile phone. Each card contains a program of information for specific areas of the body, providing pain relief for a range of musculoskeletal health disorders for people of all ages. There are 12 specific therapy cards: mid and lower back, neck, shoulder, hip, elbow, wrist, knee, ankle, bone, together with an osteoarthritis and vascular card. Furthermore, each of these cards not only holds information pertaining to the specific area of the body, but contains a coded communication language which replicates the body's own natural healing processes. E-cell, energy for life.
About 4 years ago, a gentleman walked into my clinic with a very big device attached to his hip, and he told me that one of the smartest gentlemen in the world had developed this device. I've been training for many, many years, and every 3 or 4 months someone comes in and tells you about some brilliant device. I always follow things up. I followed this up and spoke to the gentleman concerned, who was Jeffrey Edwards. I trialled the machine in my clinic, and the results were totally staggering. I've been to Prague, I've been to China, I've been all over the world looking at ways of healing and the benefits of recovery and all sorts of different facets of soft tissue medicine, and the results from the E-cell were staggering. We then formed a company in 2004, and we've been going forward with the development of the E-cell since then.
E-cell works through a process we call biomimetics. In other words, we are mimicking a natural biological signal. I think we're all familiar with the traditional shape of an EKG on a heart. However, what many people don't understand is that a lot of the cellular entities in the musculoskeletal system have a similar biological heartbeat. For example, the cartilage of your knee. If you fly on a long trip, being inactive, the cartilage of the knee doesn't swell up and grow because you're not wearing it down by physical activity. And the reason that it's able to maintain its correct structure is because it balances its growth with its degradation very finely and very accurately. The key to the way the cartilage cells, known as chondrocytes, achieve this is they monitor the exercise environment and the stresses being placed upon them by examining the atomic structures at the end of a group of proteins called proteoglycans. However, what GEM has been able to do is been able to decode and mimic the beneficial patterns which we see in chondrocyte communications, and we are able to encourage the regrowth and the stimulation of new cartilage material, but in the absence of the corresponding wear and tear. Now, what E-cell does is it tricks the body into assuming it's being aggressively exercised, which turns on the beneficial growth and rehabilitation processes, but it does this artificially rather than physically, and thus we're able to avoid a corresponding wear and tear.
So how does this happen? How does the body regulate cellular activity and regeneration? The body's cells respond to normal movement, in particular exercise, which produces a chemical action which in turn produces electrical signals. These bioelectrical signals are developed across the cell's membrane. Each cell's membrane is a highly selective filter or series of gates that permits the exchange of nutrients and waste products within the cell, stimulating its replication. When our body is at rest, these signals are no longer being generated, thus putting the cells in a non-active state. E-cell has been developed to simulate and replace those missing signals. In a similar way to your TV remote control, E-cell transmits signals to the area being treated, creating an environment which simulates exercise at the cellular level. In other words, the cells of the body believe they are being exercised and respond accordingly.
From a clinical point of view, I had a 79-year-old lady who had fallen over and smashed her knee on the concrete patio. The knee blew up like a balloon. She couldn't move. She was in inordinate pain. She had osteoarthritis. The potential for healing for that was very, very difficult, and from a clinical point of view, we couldn't even really touch it. It was so inflamed. She used the E-cell for 4 days, full on, as much as she could, and by the end of 4 days she was walking without any visible sign of pain. Now that, from a clinical treating point of view, is staggering. Wonderful, wonderful stuff.
My life was very active, and I used to swim a lot, and I worked very hard in my profession, and I had a fall, and that totally destroyed my employment and my ability to move very much at all.
4 years ago I suffered a herniated disc, and the doctor advised me not to cycle. That was my hobby.
I was doing a triple pirouette or something, and my knee dislocated, and I had to be on crutches for a week.
I was going to specialists for x-rays, MRI, ultrasounds for pain, and I mean severe pain in my shoulders. I couldn't let any cool air get on my shoulders at all. I was wearing fleecy pyjamas and a jacket in summer so that no cool air could get on my shoulders because the pain was extreme.
It was like a piece of glass going through my knee, and at one stage I couldn't put my foot down on it at all.
I went to 4 doctors in 2 days and got no help whatsoever. They didn't know what was wrong with me or what to do. I took painkillers, which didn't help a lot.
For 2 years I did not cycle, and I was doing physiotherapy exercises to control the pain and manage it.
Went to the doctor because my knee was up like a football, and he sent me for x-rays which showed I had arthritis, quite badly in one knee and a little bit in the other, and he just put me on tablets and said that I would have to have an operation a little bit down the track.
At some point about 2 to 3 months ago, I just happened to read an ad in the paper about the E-cell, and you're very suspicious of these things, the scam notification and the alarms go off in your head, but I thought, I've got nothing to lose here.
I think, to start with, I'm pretty much a person who definitely has to see things in action to be convinced. I'm not the kind of person who just hears something and believe it. So definitely to start with, when Andy told us the benefits of the e-cell, I was definitely sceptical.
I went and consulted Medic Technology and asked about them the e-cell, and also I researched through the internet and other books and found that this technology has some merits.
The two things that were very important to me was, one was a 90-day money-back guarantee with a few conditions, which I'll tell you about in a second. And the second thing is it was passed by the TGA. Now that's very important. The Therapeutic Goods Act is very strict, and they don't allow things into Australia or to be used for medical purposes unless they are passed. So that was really important. With the 90-day money-back guarantee, all I had to do was diarise each day's treatment and write it down in some sort of diary, or just a brief form of what I was doing and how often. And I did that religiously for 2 weeks, and then I knew after 2 weeks there was no way I was going to send this machine back.
I used the OA and the shoulder card on my shoulders and was able to save myself surgery. I now definitely do not need surgery because my surgeon said that the only reason you would have this surgery, it was so severe, was on the basis of pain. As I have no pain now, I thank e-cell because it has just done such a wonderful job in making my life so different.
Every single time someone injures themselves or gets a pain of any sort, we just put any of the cards in, because you get different SIM cards, so vascular, knee, elbow, anything like that. And we took it on our holiday to Canberra when we went skiing, and Dad injured his arm and he just put that on and he was fine. He was able to go snowboarding after that, and so we use it wherever we go.
e-cell is an essential family medical tool. It gives parents and individuals an ability to control and participate in the biological process of recovery. The biggest problem that most people have, and the greatest reason for acute diseases, is people rely on what they feel. They feel a little bit better from a strained ankle after a couple of days. The problem that exists is the biological recovery from that disease is far more complicated than just the acute pain that we use around. So being able to manage the successful migration of an acute disease to full recovery is an essential foundation for long-term healthy and active life. e-cell provides the tools that's required to achieve that, and it provides world's best practice medical healthcare in the palm of your hand, so you don't need a physician in your house on a daily basis.
I think it's great because it just helps you so much and everything, and there's no side effects or anything, so it's really good. Like, you can just put it on whenever and you can walk around with it on, so you don't have to sit down and rest and everything like that.
I think that the benefits we've seen as a basketball club in the last 2 seasons, I mean, as we've won the last 2 championships, I think that's had a lot to do with being able to keep players on the court. That's even at training. You have very few people missing training sessions or missing games due to injury, because they were able to use the e-cell and get back on the court in a faster time than they normally would be able to.
Anyone who's in pain, have a good look at this. And as I said, it's got a 90-day money-back guarantee, and I'd be surprised if it doesn't work for you.
And I have found the e-cell to be just a life improver. It has made my life so different to what it was in March 2006. I could strongly recommend e-cell.
Before using the e-cell, I had to take painkillers and anti-inflammatory, which I really did not like. And also, importantly, I could not ride my bike for a long time. With the use of e-cell, first I don't have to use the anti-inflammatory, and now I'm much more comfortable on the bike and ride for a long distance without any pain.
I couldn't imagine my life without the e-cell. We actually dropped it and we thought it was broken, and when we took it to Shirley, it was just the battery had come away a little bit, and I said to Shirley, this was my best friend next to my husband, and it's like, it's a part of your life. It's like brushing your teeth every day.
Well, this is the most staggering technology that's been available to the consumer. Most of the machines on the market increase heat, and increasing heat is great. Vibration all of those sort of things. You know, they increase the blood flow, and massage does that as well, and it's wonderful in the short term. What this does, the E-cell, is it modulates cellular membranes. So it takes cellular regeneration into a whole new sphere. It's something we've been unable to do, and the basis of the work by Professor Bassett back in the 70s was to modulate the cellular membrane, and it's staggering technology. It's space-age technology, and it's now available to the consumer, and I think if you don't use it, I think you're crazy.
E-cell, pain relief in the palm of your hand.